Start all right. I think I am back. Let's check in on the socials, make sure everything's working. Let's see here. We are live on Instagram, YouTube. We are up. Welcome, YouTube. Kick. Welcome to the show, Kick, and Twitch. We are live on Twitch. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Sam Crescent Art Show, featuring me, Sam Crescent, and we're back. I was on here earlier, had to cut things short and take care of some different things, but sometimes you just have to roll with it. Let's get a little bit more work done. I do have a hard cut in about 45 minutes, but still see what we can do. Now, what I did since then, I was able to jump on here and put the flat colors down on all of these characters. And you can see we have this huge group shot here of many of the characters that you've been watching me draw over the last several days. They're in the scene. What we've got to do is, let's turn off the main characters here. These are the main characters. You can see these background characters that I did, and now I still have additional background characters I need to do in order to flesh out the scene. They're all right here. If we look at it without them, I want those extra characters in there just to populate the scene a little bit more, and it'll be fine. We'll get to create 4 more characters today. Well, I'm not going to be able to do them all today, but I can get at least one done. And we have the background silhouettes. So let's do this. Let's start with the background silhouettes and knock those out first because they're going to be easy. That's a quick little warm-up. And then we'll create a character. So let's label this one line art background silhouettes. I have no idea if that's how that's spelled. Don't really care. And let's knock the opacity down on this whole layer so it's not interfering. And I'm gonna get these ones done first because that'll give me a good sense of accomplishment and a feeling of forward momentum, and those things are utmost important when you're working on massive projects. So one of the things that I do is I will tend to start huge projects that take months to build, and that's what this is. This is a project that is taken. Trying to decide how thick we want to go. I think 4 is a good size. This will be a project that will have taken literally years to have built out. By the time it's built out, it'll be decades. Eventually, there'll be a lifetime of work that stands behind all of this, all these characters and all this stuff. But I feel like, look, I do stuff, I illustrate stickers all the time, and one sticker is only a few hours of work. And then these are a page like this can sometimes be weeks of work because of the way I work, wherein I'm doing characters separated out. The reality is I'm farming my IP. So I want to create dozens of characters on every single page that I can then draw back into the well, dip back into the well from later, and use those characters for all manner of other projects, ideas, and things of those various natures in the future. And that's kind of how my game Zombie Command came about to be, is I literally created hundreds, I'm not joking, hundreds of zombies, specific zombie characters, and they're going to be turned into a massive collectible card game called Zombie Command. Now, it's going to still be some time. I'm hoping that I can have the game by the end of the year, although that may not be realistic because I still have to play test a lot. And really, I should print out placeholders for everything in that game and start playtesting it now. And I probably will do that very soon. It's just juggling and getting one thing done after the next. Now, to discuss this silhouette thing, I'm basically just like doing what you see me doing. Now, I'm trying to make the shapes a little more interesting as I go, as compared to what I did in the layout when I roughed this in. And this layout was done back in August, and it is now May the next year. That's how long it took. But the truth of the matter is, though, I'm thinking a lot about this year. Like, okay, what do I want to have honed? What do I want to have finished? And because I have a big birthday coming up this year, and it's a realization that a large portion of my life has already been lived, unfortunately. And so I have to figure out, okay, well, before I hit this milestone, is there, what did I not do? What did I not get done yet in my life that I wanted to do? What was the thing that you're like, you said, oh, I always wanted to do this, but you didn't do it? That's where that's why I'm trying to do everything here to finish my cartoon and stuff. Now, the plan with this comic is I should be set up into a position where I can publish a new issue every year for the next 10 years of my life. So going into this next decade that I'm going to be entering, I can at least say, well, from this decade to that decade, at least I'll be able to publish a comic book every year for the entire decade. What would be the result of that? What would happen if I could do that? And it's only one. But there's a lot more work because I'm not going to just publish one comic book every year. It'll be animated as well. Limited animation it will have to be, but I'll get it done. Mark my words on that. And the thing is, because I'm streaming the whole process, you'll be able to see it happen. You don't have to watch every minute of every stream. Just check in every now and then, and you'll see I'm clipping the streams and posting them on YouTube and Instagram. Some of them make their way onto Facebook. So I'm clipping every day, stuff out from these streams, posting that. And so that's another form of documentation that's taking place. And surprisingly to me, some of these clips are starting to they're starting to make their way around social media. And what I mean by that is that some of them have several thousand views on them, which I never thought that would actually happen. Several thousand views is not that much, but that's a lot for me in the past, where I just put something up and it would just get maybe if it got a few hundred views or something, it'd be a big deal. This stuff has been going, and I think it's more to do with the consistency, because I've been doing this live stream every day. I've been consistently have new things that I can clip and share every single day. And so it's been very much of a huge help to me. Almost might change my life maybe in some way. I have no idea actually where any of this is going or if it will go anywhere. I don't really care. This is just stuff that I need to do, and so I'm going to do it. So what can you take? What can we take from this is just roll with everything and just do what you've got to do to get stuff done, but realizing that you can only do what you can. That's like today. Like ideally, I would have had this stream knocked out, several hours of streaming done before the morning is even over, and then I'd be moving on to the next thing. I'm gonna I possibly hope I can print today some more stuff, glow in the dark. So I'll be in my screen print room for a bit later on, and then what am I gonna do after that? I don't even know. There's so many things happening at all times. I have a new press coming for my screen printing room, and my son and I have been vigorously cleaning and organizing and taking apart and putting it back together my screen printing shop so that we will be ready for the new press when it gets here, which will probably be next week. And so that's another thing that's happening, and that's going to be amazing because it'll be able to level up a lot of my current quality of my current prints. My abilities will level up when I have a machine that a press that I'm not fighting all the time. The current press is an older Raynar press. It's a good starter press, but for the things that I want to do now, it's not sufficient, and it feels like I'm constantly fighting this thing. And that's a thing about art is already hard enough as it is. This is something I learned from my teacher, Joe. He told me once, he said, art's already hard enough as it is. So you do not want to continue doing art and also be fighting the tools that you're using. And he's telling me that specifically as it related to brushes, because I had a brush that got a split in it, but you could still twirl the brush and then hit it from the right angle and you could pull a clean line. And he immediately reprimanded me for that and said, what are you doing? Throw that brush away and get a new brush. Art is already inking what you're trying to do. It's already hard enough as it is. You don't need to be fighting your tools while you're working. And he's right. So I've always taken that mentality about it, and I think that it's I actually think that it's a very good mindset to have, because you do want to be efficient in as much as you can be. So that's more or less the whole thing about that. Now, the next convention I'm going to be at is this weekend, and that will be Ontario Comic Con Revolution. And that should be pretty cool. It's a show, I've done it, I think this will be the 4th year that I've done it now in a row. 3rd year or 4th year, I'm trying to remember. No, it's definitely not the 3rd. It's the 4th year, or is it the 5th? I think it's the 4th. It's one of these conventions. It's I don't even know how to explain Comic-Con Revolution. It's up in Ontario, California, and surprisingly I seem to do at least 3 conventions a year up there at the Ontario Convention Center. Kind of, I feel like I need to not do so many up there because I worry that I've like sold into that market too hard. But it's still proven to be profitable year after year. So I just keep going back and rinsing and repeating those profits as much as possible. And I haven't found something or been able to get something to replace those slots yet. Eventually I will. And then then we'll see what to do from there. Um, so these background silhouettes are looking pretty cool. Like, I'll take it. I mean, that's all they're supposed to be, is just shapes. And so that's what we're making. Got 2 of these left, and then we'll drop in a new character. Unfortunately, though, I have a hard cut at 11:45. Well, that's not true. I can go a little longer than that. I purposely set it for 11:45 so that when the alarm goes, I kind of know. We're losing this here. What's going on? Kind of know where that I have a few minutes to wrap things up. Then I can move on. Kind of just keeping things angular, wedging shapes. Sometimes something will go down that's just not gonna work. Let's fix this a little bit here. That's kind of weird. We'll just keep it. Why not? All right, one more. No. No. All right, that works. Let's see what we got here. Last one, the head's maybe a little big, but it's okay. Okay, so we're done with that. Now let's draw some of these characters. We'll do this guy here. And turn that off. Line art. Actually, I'm not going to name it yet because I don't know what this character's name's going to be or what he is. So, this is basically the same pose that I've drawn already. I just moved it over here as a placeholder when I laid this in. So I can change the pose around or leave it. I'm going to leave it. Now, the guy who was in this pose before I drew him as like a surfer guy. Let's make this guy a wrestler. Oh, that's kind of boring. Well, we'll see what we can do with him, but I want to put one of these on him. Okay, let's draw his face first. I'll put this eye up here. Put this one squinting down. Okay. And this one, we're gonna make it. I'll blow this up. Well, that's a little too close up for me. It's gonna. Yeah, let's squint this up here a little bit more. That one's kind of squinted in. Then we'll get a nose put in this thing. It's a little bit of a boring nose, but we'll leave it. Now these everybody's got to be happy in this scene because this is a scene of triumph. It's a very emotional moment. So gotta make him kind of with a smile of some sort. So we'll try something like that. Give him some lips here. So we'll make that come out. There we go. That's kind of an interesting face that I haven't drawn here yet. Now what? What should we do with this guy now? Put in an ear. Put in an ear there. Now what? We got some ears. Spiky hair, mohawk, hat. How about we put a frying pan on his head? Why not? Whoops, wrong thing. So we'll give him a pot. Frying pan won't really fit. But he could be wearing a pot like that on his head. Problem is, he's gonna have more skull than that. We gotta design a better handle. Usually the handle comes off the top, right? Something like this, maybe. And they usually have a hook through it so you can hang it. We'll do that. All right, so now we've got a frying pan, not a frying pan. We've got a pot, a cooking pot on this guy's head. Okay. Now we can put in his neck here if we wanted. Remember that goes up behind the ear. It's a little bit too much though. But all of a sudden I make him not have a shirt on. And this guy absolutely is gonna have a shirt. He's gonna have some frying pan. Let's just stick with the frying pan themed. We'll give him some frying pan shoulder pads like this. And then we'll draw the base of the pan here. Something like this. Yeah, I gotta switch it. I think that it needs to be more here. There we go. That'll be the bottom. And we'll have the handle coming out here. Like that. So there's one frying pan pad. And he drilled holes in it so that he could secure it to himself. And we'll draw those securing things in a minute. Get another frying pan here. So this guy found himself in this zombie apocalypse, and he, yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's get it like that. There we go. He decided to secure these frying pans to himself for protection. Because that's what he had. He had dishware, he had a drill. So he went with that. Well, the handle here, well, the handle's going to come off the top more. Okay, so we got that. We got some frying pans there. Across the front of himself, he's going to have a baking sheet. So here, there's got to be some overlap underneath the frying pans actually. So first I was like trying to avoid the frying pans when I drew the baking sheet. Now we've got to intercept the frying pans. So that's what we'll do. And then we'll get the rim around this thing. So the baking sheet is turned towards his chest. And that's about as good as that's going to get. I want to give this a little bit more space. Okay. And the baking sheet's going to be strapped on here. Actually, we won't have it. Well, we will. There's the baking sheet. And then we'll put a shirt on this guy. You know what we should do is we'll put a chef. I should have put a chef's hat on him, but that's okay because we'll make him a chef. So we'll put chef's clothing on this guy. Something like that. And so we can kind of have it come down like there. I forget how chef's clothing goes. I know it has like a button over. I think it usually comes down to the waist, like that. Something there. Problem is, it's a little bit boring, but we can spruce it up in a minute. What we'll do next is we'll have his cooking knives attached onto his body. So I forget the names of all the different cutlery the chef has to have. If we really wanted to nerd out with this, we're going to have to. So let me pull up the various cutlery that a chef would use. Cutlery, standard. Look at this up on YouTube on the search set. Let's look up a standard cutlery set. No, not silverware. Chef's cutlery. Here we go. So here's a 5-piece German set. We'll do that. And we want to increase our education. What we should do, it's just giving me products, man. Come on, just give me the info. All right, I'm going to click on this German set and see if it tells me the names of each knife in this set. It does not. Because if I knew each name, then I would know it forever. Product details. Yes, tell me the details. All right, now we're talking. Now we know. Now we know. Okay, because this is what's gonna make this even better. This character even cooler is like he uses the different cutleries for various, fighting zombies in different ways, right? So we have a 4-inch paring knife. I'm not gonna go crazy with the handle design. Like the one I'm looking at has this like super crazy kind of handle design, and I'm going, no. Now the reality is these would be down here, not up here. So we'll put them down there, because if you're gonna draw your knives, like you don't want to have them like on your stomach. You want to have them down around the belt line, to fight zombies. So we'll do the paring knife first. 4-inch. Okay, now we've got the bread knife, okay? And handle is essentially going to be the same design. But now we're going to have a long blade coming down here, and it's serrated on the end. But let's get this right. Come here, and then not that far. Boy, I just go overboard sometimes. All right, now we have a serrated edge along the bread knife. All right, then we've got the carving knife. This bread knife is like it's not everything I'd want it to be, It needs to be a little bit more. I think like that. It's too much. Let's pull this handle down just a tad more. There we go. I'll take that. That's as good as it's going to get. Now we've got the carving knife. Now the carving knife kind of comes to a point. It's actually longer than the bread knife. Boy, I'm really getting up on my cutlery now. All right, there's the carving knife. And then we're going to have the chef's knife. Not as long as the carver, but it's got a big, maybe a little too much there. Let's fix this here. It's got a big blade right here. All right, that works. There's a chef's knife. All right, now we have a few open slots. Well, we can have the sharpener on here. So he has his knife sharpener right here. Let's fix that. Just a thing like that. That's pretty much all we need. Now the thing is these would all be sheathed, but it looks cooler if they're not, because it's more dangerous. So let's see what's happening out here. pretty much nothing. Okay, so you know, I mean, the right. Just look it up here, like a knife, chef's cutlery holster. Yeah, I mean, it would be like a rollout bag. They've got some pretty hardcore stuff that they put this in. It's all strapped up different ways. What we'll do with this is we'll start designing how it's strapped up on them. So we'll go here. I wonder if I can go chef suit with chef's uniform with cutlery holster. See what that looks like. Okay. So I did the button on the wrong side. The holsters are like these massive things. Okay, so let's get it so it's so that we're somewhat accurate here. So but now that I know this, anytime I have to draw a chef again, I'll know what it looks like. So the chef's uniform goes to this side here. We have two sets of buttons that come down. Now he still needs some armor here. We'll get that in. And then the way these things holster on is they're like these big strap things that have. What we'll do is we'll just I'm gonna have the exposed blades. So we'll just put the. I mean, I could draw these things sheathed. I mean, what do you think? You know, but then you wouldn't know what each one is, unfortunately, if we drew them sheathed like this. But we could just have a makeshift kind of a thing that goes like this, I guess. Around each one. I mean, that would never even be able to drop in there. I think I'm gonna have to make them sheathed. Like, it's the only way to make it actually work, unfortunately. So it's gonna go like that. It's gonna go like that, and then here, and then we'll have a thing like that there, and then we'll connect it across. This apparatus that I'm making, it doesn't exist, unfortunately. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, it would have a strap coming here up like that. All right. Now for the bread cutter, gotta sheathe it up. I mean, I like the idea though of this guy having just knives unsheathed attached to his person, like completely ready to fight zombies and stuff, but I don't know. Chef suit's gonna have to come in like that. Unfortunately, it's almost time for me to go, but I think I can get through this if I start speeding up my process a little. I'm taking a little too long to be designy with this thing rather than just getting it drawn. Oops. So do it like that. Let's see what we got here. Do that, and then we'll kind of do some stitching here, pulling this stuff together. Make this pen a little bit darker. All right, let's see here. This guy is pretty weird looking now. We got the let's rig up this stuff now. So this is all, you know, secured, tied together. Whoa. There's the alarm. I'm okay. I've got 15 minutes still. Put this around his neck here. Right there. Um, oh, he needs these things all attached. On. Attach that. This one will go down through the pit, armpit. Now it looks like there's actually some more logic to this. We've got the frying pans have a harness system. Make the cookie sheet go that way. Cookie sheet locked onto them. He's got his weapons. He's got the frying pan up on his head here. No wonder it's not on black. I'm keep going. Why are my lines not black? Now I know why. We'll give him an apron here. Like that. And then go here and we'll turn his cuff up like that. These are total BS. Bunch of nonsense. I can make something that makes more sense here. That's better. Just give them the same thing. Turned up cuff here. All right, that's fine, I guess. What would be cool is that the guy, he's got like spices and stuff in these pouches that he can throw into the eyes of the zombies when he's under attack. Give a little more structure to this harness system that he's got. That's pretty good. So, I don't know. I'm not going to put much more on there. And then, got to get the pants and the feet. Let's just lay in what we would have. That's good. So let's see here. Based out of this, you'd have some. I mean, chefs just wear white pants. They're probably just kind of like that. There's probably not much to it. Whoops. And then the shoes will be, it'd be nice if you had a little bit more armor and stuff, but whatever. We've got to get this done. Design a shoe here. What kind of shoe is this? I don't know. I just made it up. It's a chef's shoe. No, just kind of some kind of a slip-on loafer, penny loafer of some sort. Kind of formal shoe. And then there's really no reason why his pants would be tilted up that high. They kind of come down, maybe drape over the top and come down the sides a little bit. Like this. Unless you wanted to give him a... Let's do that. Let's give this guy... Keep changing my mind, but I think this is going to be the best choice for the design. Is if we give this guy... What am I doing here? Messing up my shoe. Like, what do they call them? Like high waters? High water pants, you know? Like that. Like his pants don't even come down through the shoe. They come just slightly above it. And people are like, what are you expecting, a flood or something? You know, when you see someone with their pants that are too short. Like there's a kid that his pants were too short when I was in 7th grade, and everyone's like, would make fun of him, like, oh, you trying to escape a flood? Are you worried about the flood or something? And the reality is he's probably like outgrew his pants, and his parents didn't want to, you know, they didn't have the money or didn't want to buy new ones yet. And the poor kid just got, here with it, man. The poor kid just got, you know, then he had to be mocked endlessly for his misfortune. And unfortunately, that was the way kids were when I was young. They were mean. And, you know, it is what it is. I guess the good thing about it was if you could survive it, you're pretty thick-skinned by the end of it. But if you're more sensitive, you know, it could be brutal. And I was both sensitive and not. Eventually you just learn to shut all your feelings down, turn off all your emotions, and not care. And that sounds absolutely horrendous way to go through life. So of course I would never, of course I didn't do that. Oh yeah, pulling this guy off in just 5 more minutes. Now he just needs some hands. Let me see here. I'm gonna rough in a hand shape here. There. This one. Something like that. Sometimes it's faster to just throw down what you think the shape is and then go back over it than always trying to go, you know, than trying to go straight in all the time. I'm not convinced that that's faster. I've watched these guys that go straight in on everything, and sometimes they've got to go really slow with their decision making. And then I wonder, is it actually faster? Sometimes I don't think it is. Although now I'm eating my own words because this sucks. So what the heck just happened? I just lost the whole shape. I got too cocky. I was like, yeah, I got this. I got too cocky. Holy cow. What the hell is this? I just... Man, where did my hand go? All right, we got to figure it out here. Let's top plane here. Fingers and knuckles curled up. He's making a fist. So big, where's his knuckles at? His knuckles are here. Big knuckle, triangle knuckle, square knuckle here. And then we got the second set of knuckles, something like that. See if we can carve this out now. Well, that is a hand. Let's just put a new layer over the top of that and get it locked in a little better. Now, the heck, man. Merge selected. Okay. Yeah, I need to do something different with this one. This is a weird, wonky looking hand. Let's fix this here. You know what we should do is put an oven mitt on him, actually. Why did I just think of that now after I did all that? But if he was wearing an oven mitt, it would actually be really cool. Had an oven mitt like this here, and like if it was like dripping something here. It's got to be. I think it's gonna have to be oven mitt. I hate to get rid of that hand after I went through it all. Actually, before I do oven mitt, which hand is worse? The fist or the hand? I think this hand's worse. So we'll get rid of it. Let me look up an oven mitt because I don't remember how oven mitts look. I mean, I know the shape of it, but what are the details of it? Oh, yes. Okay, so, yeah, this is completely off. Where are we? Let's get this oven mitt right. They go more like that. they'll have a loop here so they can like hook onto stuff. Some sewing here, and then they have this sort of cross hatch pattern here. Like that. We'll do it this way. We'll give it a dark and light pattern, but we'll make it up here. All right, we got it. Now let's go with silhouette shape. Let's merge these together again so that I don't end up with a million layers. Turn off that background. We don't need that. All right, 15 minutes to go. See how fast can we do it. Let's try 5. 5 is too much. Do a 4. You should be able to knock this guy out in the next 5 minutes. It's going to be how long it takes me to go around the silhouette. And then I want to grab my G-pen and throw some thick and thins down on this thing. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff, this is why I created like comic book strength monsters, is it's just an outlet for me to be able to make all the kind of stuff I want to make. Right, we're about halfway around the parameter. Got a little ways to go. Then when I get back, I've got to go through the live stream and clip all the clips. That takes me about an hour. And that's a job that I really can't, there's nothing I can do. Like you could, I'm thinking, well, maybe I could outsource it, like hire somebody, because I have a video guy that helps me that I pay. But there's other projects I want them to work on, like animating the cartoon. And if I have them clipping stuff, it's like some of these streams are hours. Then he's watching back a whole stream, trying to decide what's going to be entertaining and what's not, where I already know everything that happened on the stream because I did it. I lived it. I was the stream. So I know everything that happened on the stream. So I can just instantaneously go back and clip like all the spots that I know will be entertaining, because I actually have really good sensibilities about what's entertaining. Although maybe I don't, but I believe I do. So I'm just going to go with that. And the thing is that when it comes to all this stuff, Oh, then the people are like, why don't you use AI? Why don't you use AI? Guys, let me explain this to you. There are AI clippers, right? Stream clippers. They cannot watch your video. You understand this? It cannot watch a video. What it does is it reads the transcript, and then based on the transcript, it just randomly clips it, decides where it thinks is the best place to clip it based on the token values of the words in that transcript. It tries to just make its a best guess, because it all is just best guess as to where to clip the thing. And you'll end up with some really weird video that you can tell instantly when somebody's done it, because you'll have this video that starts and stops in all these weird places, and you're like, wait, why did this guy clip this and put it up? It doesn't even make sense. That's because he probably had an LL. It's not AI, guys. It's an LLM. If you still are convinced that AI is going to take everything over, I mean, just go watch that Huck IRL guy and just look at that dude's videos, and you're going to realize how incompetent it actually is. And the idea that it's going to get better is just completely untrue. It's not going to get any better. They're even saying, even the CEO of NVIDIA is saying, like, we've already gotten past all of the major, like, improvements and upgrades that we can do right now. They're going to be able to do ever. The technology is capped. They've reached the limit of what it's capable of. And so the only way they think that maybe if they just add more computes, if they can increase the number of chips and the size of the database, the brain of the thing, that it might be smarter. But at this point, there's no way to know. They don't have any idea. And they could double the size of the database and double the number of chips, and the thing could still be, it might only be like 5% smarter or 10% not smarter, but more accurate, more competent, you know? So it's not, but you're talking about an investment of trillions of billions of dollars in order to do that. So it's a massive problem. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's just capped out. It's capped out. But none of these companies will admit it, because their investment is so deep into this that they're gonna collapse their share prices. They're gonna collapse the stock market. The whole bubble's gonna pop if they ever did actually have to admit that the tech is basically gone as far as it can go. And so, yeah, that's why, like, as an artist, no, I'm not worried about AI in the least bit. I'm really just like, I don't think the market's going to collapse soon. I mean, I think it'll continue like this for maybe another 5-10 years, but eventually there'll come a reconciliation where it'll be like, oh, we're not driving, this isn't driving any real profit here. We can't actually replace our workforce the way we thought we could. You know, there's going to be all this stuff, and they have to tell you this stuff, because it you know, you've got Anthropic getting ready to IPO pretty soon. And so they're making up narratives like, oh, we're not sure if we should release the next model on the public. It might be too powerful. It's all nonsense. That's just so that they get a huge, people are like, oh yeah, we gotta buy Anthropic when it IPOs, because it's going to be the next thing. They're saying it's too powerful. That's all just made up narrative to drive the IPO up, so that they can get, you know, more money when they release those shares. You're going to see all, you know, other ones are going to have to IPO eventually, and then, you know, then they're going to have to, we're going to start seeing the real numbers, like what these things are making, and you're going to go, oh man, these things aren't making any money. They're not making what the spend on them is. The spend is just in astronomical. Now, the thing about the spend on it is, at least most of the, you know, as you go with like Meta and Google and stuff, like, these are just cash machines. So they can spend whatever on this stuff pretty much indefinitely. But, you know, these other companies like OpenAI and stuff, they have no revenue. They have no way of actually earning money. Like, there's so, and then the last thing is kind of like these things is, I was listening to an interesting video where the guy's comparing these things to kind of this, it's kind of like tarot cards or like fortune reading, you know, where the fortune teller learns kind of how to say things so that they sound like they're able to see the future. They're kind of able to talk to you in such a way where no matter what your background story is, you're like, oh, they know about me. They understand, you know, and that's kind of what these LLMs are. It's like a sophisticated version of that, where it's able to kind of interact in a way, I mean, it is like, I heard somebody explain it as, it is kind of like a magic 8-ball where you input these prompts and you kind of, whatever comes out is kind of like, it's a little it's not repeatable. It's unpredictable. It's like a different set comes out, but it's able to put this stuff out in such a way that it makes you think that this thing is intelligent, or that it has some semblance of intelligence, and when it really actually doesn't. So that's pretty much why I'm not using AI to clip these videos, because it literally wouldn't work, I'll tell you that, straight out. All right, this guy is done. This stream is done. I've got to go. I've got 5 minutes. So thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow for a brand new stream, a brand new day, and we'll keep this machine running. This is day 24 in a row that I've streamed. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to stop the streak this weekend because I'm going to be in Ontario, California, running my booth at the Comic Fest. But otherwise, that's all.